Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we talk about everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. And yes, we are live, folks. Good evening, George. Thank you very much for stopping by. I also have a much smaller YouTube channel called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. The link to that channel is in the description. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and the subscriber mode has been enabled. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you may need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to send a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices, and those who watch from the cloud, even the haters. So if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. And yes, we do appreciate it. And I see here we have a troll. So guess what? We're going to kick them from the studio. Okay. We just eliminated Mr. No, I saw him. And he is back. So now it's going to be. Now he's going to be banned. And he just been banned from the studio. Georgia, he's going to, basically his entire verbiage is going to be that he's going to report me to ICE and that I'm going to El Salvador. It is that simple. And yes, folks, so we just had a brief visit from the 3-time loser, the one who got kicked out of YouTube, Facebook, on Rumble, and he's been permanently banned from the platform. Okay, so as I was saying before, I was really interrupted. Uh, Tonight we're having another episode of Open Discussion, and Open Discussion, uh, I will share my views regarding multiple topics, and the audience will have an opportunity to opine regarding each topic. Also, the audience will have an opportunity uh, to suggest topics for me to talk about. Um, First of all, I will do my best to talk about whatever topic you want me to discuss. If it's something that I don't know about, I'll be transparent and say so. So, we're going to begin with the first topic, which is taking your own medicine. Okay. Now, of course, we're all familiar with Creole Chief, and he is uh, a content creator who you have had several battles with certain individuals here in this YouTube streets. One of them have to be one of our ops who goes around doxing and things of that nature. So guess what? He decided to give this op a taste of his own medicine and actually dox him for a change. And as a result, he was not a happy camper. And he tried to get him, um, you know, hit with a community strike. Well, if you saw his post, the success is not has been a failure. So what this serves is an important lesson. If you dox others, eventually, sooner or later, you will be doxed yourself. Now, I see here we already have a guest. So let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to the views. Some of the views of people who might be considered offensive to some views. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. Now I'm going to bring in my guest. Good evening, Georgia.
Greetings, it's George Oren Cooper.
Oh, okay. So how are you doing tonight?
Me and Cooper are doing wonderfully well. That's
Okay.
the Appaloosa horse in the picture here with me.
Oh, yes.
Big, sweet
Uh,
Appaloosa horse, but carry on.
yes. We just recently had a brief visit from Mr.
Yeah, I was honestly curious as to what he was going to say, but you already talked about what he was going to say, but beside that now.
Yeah. This is coming from the person that somehow got kicked out of YouTube, Instagram, and Rumble.
Mm-hmm. True.
Well, so he's a three-time loser.
I hear that. But yeah. But yeah, you can carry on. Carry
Okay.
on. Don't,
Well, basically, he's a troll from Miss Elite's sphere, so to speak. Um, he's been known to harass other content creators, which is probably the main reason why he got kicked off. But I'm just going to go quickly to our next topic, which is, first of all, Angry Ganesha being demonetized. So, and of course, I saw his video regarding the fact that he's lost the ability to make money on YouTube and how he claimed that he was unjustly demonetized. Um, in all fairness, sometimes YouTube is not always consistent when it comes to enforcement of its guidelines, which is even more the reason why you need to be mindful of what you say or do. What are your thoughts, Jojo?
Since I do not follow Jesse at all, it's really hard for me to, interject my own 2 cents onto that since I don't visit his page at all. I have no clue as to what's been going on until like Gigi brought it up to me about his book that takes some inspirations, from my real life experiences, and until all that stuff was brought up. And then that's where I started to check some things out. But it's hard to really say why exactly he was demonetized, unless, there was copyright infringement or just violations of the YouTube guidelines. If that were taking place, then I would understand him getting demonetized. But if none of that stuff were taking place, then it's hard to explain why.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, I did DM him and I did give him an opportunity to appear. Whether or not he will do so, that's up to him. But he was given an opportunity to speak on his own defense.
Right.
Because here, I try to be fair.
Yep, we do appreciate your neutrality.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But basically, I don't follow his content as much as I used to. A lot of it has been, okay, one would consider pandering to Black women and calling out the issues that Black men present. Okay. Now, I don't agree with a lot what he talks about, but he's free to discuss whatever he wishes. He's free to air whatever he wishes.
Agreed.
However,
Same here, though.
we all need to be mindful that there's a cause and effect to everything that we say or do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I honestly have not even exchanged words with him in over 2 years. Our last login with one another was February of 2023. All right. And then after that, and after the whole debacle that everybody's familiar with, I'm just like, you know what? Wish you the very best with your endeavors and everything, but I'm not going to co-sign for that. And Godspeed and take care. And that was it.
Okay.
And that was it. Until I heard about what's going on recently.
Yeah. Now, the last time I DM him was something to do with the fact that my brother was dating a woman who's Muslim. So being he's one of the few Muslim people that contact creators I'm aware of, I reached out to him because I wanted to be respectful regarding her as a follower of Islam, even though I don't know a great deal about it. I don't agree with the teachings of Islam, but everyone is allowed to practice whatever form of religion that they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is about, and I call this plagiarism with a question mark.
Yeah, go on.
Now, I did see his reaction video regarding your assertions that you have made. And he basically didn't mince too many words about it. Basically, he said that you like a weird person from the Golden Sphere, okay? And that you're trying to profit off of his works.
Far from the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, let's, for sure, we can get into it, okay?
Okay.
Now
I did reach out to Angry Ratio because I wanted to make this completely fair. Go ahead.
And that was certainly fine, though. Even if you were to appear on the panel right now, I would be totally fine with that, and I'll just, be my natural, calm, cool, collected self. So, first and foremost, I don't even mind what he's doing.
Mhm.
He is a grown man with free will who can do whatever he wants to do and utilize his own creativity as he sees fit.
Mhm.
My point was that, keep in mind, is that somebody asked about my YouTube page. Because, first and foremost, the story is still loosely, and I said loosely, based on me. That means that, yes, he utilized his own creativity in his writing. He added in his own elements, and he fictionalized a lot of stuff, which is fine, because that's just how it's going to go when you are creating a universe with a character that's loosely based on a real life person, that being me.
Mhm.
But because it's also loosely based on me, that also means that he took elements of things that actually took place during that part of my story. It's much like how Denzel Washington's character, Alonzo Harris, in that movie Training Day, his character, by the way, was also loosely based on a real life former crooked police officer, Rafael Perez. But clearly, a lot of elements, even in the movie Training Day, were also fictionalized too, even though it was also loosely based on a real life character.
Mhm.
So, as a result of such, you may want to mention who this Jordan character is loosely based on, and that is loosely based on a real life person, Jordan Davis. That being me, except my name is actually spelled Jourdin, but same pronunciation as the way he's spelling Jordan, by the way.
Mhm.
And the difference is that, yes, I'm MGM, and whereas this Jordan in his story is FGM, first generation, but basically the similarities is that, yeah, both of us did not really have our fathers involved in our upbringings. We were both basically, specifically black, white, mixed race neo Nazis, yes. Were we trying very, very hard to fit in? Yes. Were we also dealing with probably maybe some self esteem and self respect issues? Yes.
Mhm.
Of course. Those are similarities because still this character is loosely based on me. Except, yes, the fictionalized parts are him deleting a black guy and going to the pen, trying to fit in with the Aryan Brotherhood, but then seeking protection through the Nation of Islam. Yeah, that's when it starts to become fictional.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, I did see his 10-minute video regarding me. Only thing I'm going to say is pretty much what I just said already, though, but I don't think it's that I should repeat myself. But what I am going to say is that the title of the video, by the way, is slanderous. Because first and
Mhm.
foremost, I do not embrace any racialized ideologies at all anymore.
Mhm.
During that
Mhm.
chapter of my life, I for sure did. Yes, absolutely. Hell yeah. I mean, you guys have already seen a lot of my former pictures, though, and it looks like even in that video, he still has one of my pictures that I showed him. I still got more stuff too, and I even have more videos too that I will eventually release. And then he
Mhm.
also shared that one audio clip that I sent him regarding like my ex-fiance and the stuff that she was saying during that time. Yes, she did say that stuff. But then, like I said at the end of that clip, if you heard it, it feels good to be reborn, right?
Yes.
But that's what I can just say about that. But as far as anybody feeling like I am jealous of them or their success or whatever, no, I am not, though. Why do I need to be jealous of anybody, though, when this is not a race to the finish line and this is not a competition? So, anybody thinking that I'm jealous of them in any capacity, no, no. But other than that, Jesse, the point is that what you're doing is fine, cool. However, make it known to folks about who this character is loosely based on. And then also, you only paid me $20 for those lines 2 years ago, not $80. So I just thought I'd make that clear. But other than that, man, I still wish you the very best with your endeavors. So I'll let you make a response to all of that, Jose.
Okay.
You see,
Now,
you collected about the whole
yeah.
thing. So,
Mhm.
hey, that's just where I was coming from.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not going to share the content of the video. First of all, number one, I don't have this explicit permission to do so. Also, number two, I might get hit with a copyright strike. Okay, because I am mindful of the community guidelines. Okay.
Good.
Again, he was offered an opportunity to come up and share his point of view because I believe in being transparent and I believe in being fair. And of course, one of the assertions is that he paid you approximately $80 for, I think, 20 minutes for each video recording session, as per his recollection.
Yeah, I was not paid $80. That would have been nice, but it was only just 20.
Okay. Now, how do you respond to his allegations that you are a nut, basically a nut job from the Golden Spear?
He only just started saying that now because me and him just went our own separate ways back in February of 2023 and we parted ways. However, he was not feeling that way at all when we actually became friends and were actually speaking regularly on the phone. We actually had each other's private phone numbers. We used to voice text a lot, and we were even at times chit chatting on the phone, even while he was delivering DoorDash as well. Now, am I going to share out all of our business like that? No, I actually have the dignity not to do that, okay? But
Mhm.
he was not feeling that way at all. And he already knows that I was also defending him even against the attacks from Atlantic Creole. Okay. And yeah, I'm actually dropping names though. So if that causes anybody to become butthurt, that's your problem, not mine. But I digress. So he knows all that stuff. And he knows that I was just not putting up with that. It's just now he is just saying that because of how I kind of offered my own opposing viewpoint on something.
Mhm. Understood.
So, as far as weirdo and all this other stuff, let's not really go there because I can say a lot of stuff about others that actually may, in fact, be true. But like I said, I actually have the common decency and the dignity not to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody knows I've been very transparent about my story, unlike a lot of other people who have not been so transparent about where they're coming from, Jose. That's pretty obvious.
Hmm.
So, who are the nut jobs now? Because if you want to join probably like my streets, be very honest about where you came from and what happened. And then guess what? You earn my respect. And you're not a nut job over around here, though, because you for sure are more brutally honest and transparent than anybody else who has come around.
Hmm.
So there we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that angry biracial have discussed, the fact that as his per, per recollection, he did not experience a happy childhood. He had gone through a great deal of trauma with within his family and went through a lot of situations which I'm not going to go into full details because I first of all I don't want to give a poor representation. Okay, and of course, like everybody else, he has a past, which by his own recollection has admitted that. So he's
Yeah,
been
that's where
transparent as
I
far as
give
that goes.
I actually give him that credit too, by the way, though. At least he was transparent about that. So I'm at least very fair and reasonable, though, when it comes to this, though. At that time, I gave him a lot of respect about where he came from, though, because in some of his old videos, he was clearly making it known to the whole world, though, that, oh, yeah, I did some messed up stuff, though, because he even said in his own words that there was that one time where he would knock out somebody, though, whenever they were like at an ATM to withdraw money, though, and he would just do that, though, to steal their money. I do remember him talking about that. And hey, I just said that, hey, it's all said and done, though, but you get my respect, though, for being very honest about what went down, because a lot of people are not going to make themselves vulnerable like that. But, dude, you're willing to be vulnerable like that? That's respect.
Mm-hmm. And also, we have to keep it perfectly clear. He was affiliated with the Golden Spear for some time until there was issues within the Golden Spear, um, with, mainly with Alpha and Gigi. I don't know about Dreaming, but definitely with Gigi.
Yeah.
And he had decided to go a different direction with this channel, um, talking glowing remarks regarding Black women, the issues that involve, and addressing the issues with Black men, addressing them as kings. Kangs. Things of
Kings.
that.
Oh, yeah. That, the whole, what is it called? What is that catchphrase? The whole "we was kings" argument.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that I got to be quite honest, though. To an extent, that actually is true, though, because just check out Mansa Musa. But I digress.
Yeah.
Billionaire king of the Songhai Empire in West Africa, Mansa Musa, richest man in history, in African history.
Hmm.
It's actually true to an extent. But go on.
Yeah. And this is where I respectfully disagree. Okay. Because I truly believe there's good and bad in every community. Okay.
Same.
Just like are there some Black men that have done misdeeds? Yes, they are. The same thing could be said for some Black women. The same thing could be said for every community.
Of course. Now, yeah, I mean, like, that's just where, like, like, I guess you could say a lot of people's own biases really start to, like, surface, though, when it comes to, like, always finger pointing and scapegoating at others, so. Because I'm like, yeah, when it comes to the Black community, for sure, we do see, like, yes, a lot of cultural deficiency still, yes. There's still that trend of fatherlessness too that's going on, though, along with things like issues with authority, though. And then, yes, certain like Black urban areas being plagued with gang violence, such as Chicago or Jackson, Mississippi, Oakland, California, which is where my brother was growing up in, Jacksonville, Florida. Let's see, where else, though? Oh, yes, Memphis, Tennessee, and East St. Louis, too. Yeah, we get that. That's true. But then let me also tell you this too, Jose, or better yet, let me ask you this. What is that? What is like the racial demographic of men who are getting caught up in all of these crazy sexual misconduct cases in the clergy?
It was saying like quite a good portions from the African American community. I could be wrong, nevertheless.
Uh, no, it's usually if you go and look up, go into Google and you Google search youth pastor, youth pastors being arrested for sexual abuse or sexual misconduct. Look at the faces. What are they? White men.
I used okay.
White men. you Google it. I've done it too. I'm actually going to Google it. Right? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Youth. This Google up. Youth pastors arrested for sexual abuse. Wow.
Okay.
I'm dead
Yeah,
serious. If you Google it,
yeah.
it's usually white men. So there you go. So we
Okay.
clearly see that there's, yeah, a lot of issues going on, though. And keep this in mind, though. People would much rather go to prison for murder as opposed to being a chomo. Hey,
Yes.
Gigi.
Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for stopping by. And yes, Gigi, I did see your live when you had Georgia addressing, you know, his side of the situation. And again, let me make this perfectly clear. I did reach out to Angry Biracial. I did ask him if he wanted to appear on this plan on this stream tonight to give his version of the situation because I do want to be fair and I want to give both sides a chance.
Looks like we lost you, Jose.
Okay. Actually, Gigi, he did not respond, but I did reach out to him today because again, I want to be fair. I want to be impartial. I want to give him an opportunity to address his version of the situation. Your thoughts, George?
I think I said everything that I needed to say on that issue, though, unless Gigi wants to come up here and she would like for me to, you know, debrief on what I said earlier to you.
Now, some people
What?
might claim that I'm being partial to you. What would be your response?
Being partial to me
Yes.
as far as his book goes?
Yes.
Well, I guess I can just reiterate what I said, though, but essentially, the book is loosely based on a real life person, and that person being me. It's like I kind of like, I guess I'll repeat it to Gigi, though. It's much like how Denzel Washington's character, Alonzo Harris, in that movie Training Day, was loosely based on the real life crazy former cop Rafael Perez. And so, although a handful of stuff in the movie Training Day was fictionalized, there's still elements about it that were true, since the character is loosely based on Rafael Perez. So the story isn't like 100% fictionalized, but a lot of it is.
Okay.
So the
Well,
point is,
yeah.
so at least that movie Training Day was at least able to reference Rafael Perez, and who was the real life person. And in his book, he can pretty much reference the real life person, although that real life person, me, of course, has never been arrested before in his life.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I understand GD that you can't come up, and it's understandable.
Yeah, that's okay.
Um, but yeah. But this is. I mean, the whole point is that here we try to be fair. We try to present the full evidence. Okay, we try to present both sides, and then we'll let the audience make the determination who's being more accurate.
Yeah. And then I was also like saying is that no, I'm not jealous of anybody's success or which direction that they're in, though, because Why would I be jealous when this is not a competition or this is not a race to the finish line? I am not jealous of a single human being, though. And why would I be, though? You are another sinner who's full of flaws and everything, though. So why would I be jealous of you? Why?
He also made assertions that you have a struggle channel.
And like I said, having a quote unquote struggle stream or channel or whatever, though, doesn't mean that I'm wrong or that I'm right. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong or that you're right either. Well, it most definitely doesn't mean that you are right. Because look, dude, a bunch of heretics out there have a large followings, by the way. Are they right?
No.
There you go.
And first of all, and one thing we have to bear in mind, your platform is a completely different platform. It's even a different platform compared to mine's concerned. Okay. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yours is more of a Christian oriented platform where you strive to give a more wholesome, family oriented message. Would you say that assessment is correct?
For the most part, yes. And with all platforms combined, I have 2,700 followers.
And I believe you have over 500 subs. Am I not correct?
On here, I do.
Okay. I would not necessarily address that as a struggle channel. It's a small channel, but it's not a struggle channel.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I have a small channel as well. It's just I have a slightly more subs that you have. But it's a small. I'm a small channel.
And by the way, even having a few thousand followers, by the way, that too is also a smaller platform too. Have you reached some people? Yes, you have. But you have a small platform too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really start talking as soon as you get to over 10,000. If you get over to 10,000, okay, then you become more of a medium-sized platform, though. You're not necessarily big, but you're definitely not small. You're kind of like in the middle ground. But anything or anyone below that, you're a strong, or what is it called, a quote-unquote struggle channel or a small channel as well. So I don't see what the difference is here.
And in all fairness, for you to make any reasonable amount of money here on YouTube, you have to have not only a large following, but your content has to be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're talking at least over 100,000 followers, by the way. Is that you?
That's not me. That's not angry, as far as I can tell. But in order to make a sizable amount of income, you need a huge following, which means your content must be viewed, say, multiple thousands of views on a regular basis. Okay.
And thousands of watch hours too. But to be honest, I don't at all care about being monetized at all. Like, why do I need to be monetized on here? The free gift of salvation, Jose, is free. And the word of God is free. So why do I need to try to make money off of that?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes. As one person would call it, free 99.
Yeah, $3.99. Yeah.
No, but I agree. And in fact, our Lord and Savior said, "What does it profit a person to gain the whole world to lose his soul.
Exactly. Jesus said that in the book of Matthew, and he also said the same thing in Mark. Yes, what good is it? What good is it for a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul? Yes, depending on the translation.
Yes.
Matthew and Mark. But yep. So why do I care about monetizing off the word? Like, let me tell you this, bro. When I'm going out there to bless the streets and to minister to the streets, let me tell you this, man. I have given out hundreds of dollars, by the way. You've seen my money. You do know that a lot of that goes to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I've given out hundreds of dollars, by the way. Lots. Making an impact. You know, and I also, am praying that, what I do creates a ripple effect, bro. Inspiring others to pay way for it so that they too can start up their own street life ministry if they're called for that. And then they could actually start displaying godly kindness with the Lord pulling the strings there. Because first and foremost, you cannot do all of that stuff on your own accord. The Lord has to pull your strings when you're out there ministering on the dark, gritty streets, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but according to one individual, you're harassing sex workers.
Well, if that were the case, then call Vegas PD, because they would for sure be happy to look into your case. Because not only that, but there's a number of cops and even a couple of sergeants who are very corrupt in Las Vegas. But they have bigger fish to fry. They're not going to be focusing on some guy who temporarily tattoos a cross on his forehead and wants to talk to homeless people and addicts and street working women about Jesus. There's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, because I find it very odd that witnessing to street workers, addicts, homeless people with the message of the gospel is harassment.
Yeah. Oh, I actually want to say something too. Last weekend was one of my best weekends ever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, a little trigger warning. Okay.
Yes.
Did you know that a couple of the women wanted to ride with me, by the way? Because I'm not going to say the first woman's name, but I'm just going to have to give these women nicknames, okay? First woman, sure. I'm going to have to nickname her Risha, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Risha, was very edified by what I was saying to her. She greatly appreciated just my compassionate and non-judgmental energy, because clearly people are going to pick up on that, and they're going to basically, if you are called for this and you're anointed, dude, they're going to feel God working through you, which is the point of this.
Mm-hmm.
If the Lord were not working through me, I wouldn't be doing this. I'll just be wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
Then she felt that way, and she appreciated the word and said something like, "Oh, wow, you must be really close to your pastor, though, because some of these pastors around here are arrogant." And I agreed with her. I agreed with Risha. And I said that, yes, me and my pastor do have a wonderful relationship, and he has also discipled me in a lot of ways and has also given me a good word, too, and he's a great man. But I digress. You want to know what Risha asked me? No. Could she ride with me to get her some food, though, because she hadn't eaten all day? And dude, you want to know what I did?
No, tell me.
I said, hop on in, get into the BMW, let's go. Where would you like to go? And hey, your food will be on my $1. So I drove her to Taco Bell. I paid for it. She greatly appreciated that. She's saying that, oh, I love you. And that was it. I appreciate that. And then not only that, but I am just hoping that with the Lord working through me, I hope that leaves an indelible mark on her. Because, dude, the point of what I'm also doing, though, is to also plant that seed so that that seed inspires transformation. Because the whole point of ministry, and better yet, just sharing this gospel, is about restoration and transformation. Because as me and you talked about before, Jose, are we condoning what the women are doing? Are we condoning what the addicts are doing?
No.
No, no, no. Hell to the no. So with Risha, she's probably thinking about what happened Saturday night. And I'm just going to pray for her and pray that the seeds were planted and that restoration and transformation can come to fruition. And for the second woman, though, she also got her food paid for too by me. And I'm going to nickname the second woman Melly. I'm not saying her real name.
Of course not.
You may know her real name. You and Don Armando, because I trust you two. And Gigi, I trust you guys not to put out their real names. But I'm going to call the second woman Melly. So yes, took care of Melly. Greatly appreciated it. And honestly, she really did not, I guess, want to end our night. But I did have to make it clear is that it's time for me to move on, though. But here's my number, and here is the address to our hub, because you know that our church has a hub, by the way, that can also help people who are in that vulnerable position, by the way. So yeah, man, because I knew that this stuff was going to happen, so I wanted to make sure that I was prepared for this. So now I know exactly where to refer them to, and I just told Melly, it's all up to you. Nobody here is telling you how to live your life, but we're here for you because we love you. I love you.
Now,
And I know that's going to be a huge trigger to a lot of people because I already know what people are going to say now. What's up?
yes. Yeah, they're going to say that you're basically, that this is an attempt to you to gain access to the box, that you are harassing them, that you're being a hypocrite.
Wow.
Because we all know this is what's going to be said. Okay, people think, wow, Jose must be whatever, Nostradamus. No, it's just that we know these type of individuals very well.
True. Well, dude, man, I have so many people written in my book that you and Dawn already saw. One incident was actually recorded on video, though. You and Dawn already saw that, and you clearly see what's going on. And yes, eventually I am going to put a video out here on my channel. It's inevitable, okay? It's going to happen.
Now, what you thought about our new Pope, known as Pope Leo the 14th?
You know me, man. I'm not Catholic. I will never consider the Catholic religion. But I'm fair. And I would say is that I do appreciate him for at least being more of like a trad cath, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
He's
Are
more
you
of a
referring to the Council of Trent?
trad cath, traditional Catholic, whereas they're very much more conservative and they are not really into all of the crazy hyper liberalism. That he's definitely more of that traditional Catholic, which is abbreviated to trad cath, which refers to the Catholic who makes it clear that marriage is between man and woman, no abortion, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It looks
now,
like that.
I'm going to put you. Yeah, I'm going to put you in the spot a little bit. As far as Catholics go, how would you classify me?
Trad cath.
Okay.
A very unique kind of trad cath. You're not really so much into the rosary or the statues or any of that stuff, though. You very much put Jesus up there on the throne as he should be and you make him strictly Lord of your life. And then also, Jose, you're very familiar already with the gospel, because you want my honesty, a lot of the Catholics in Europe and Latin America don't even know the gospel at all. They heavily rely on the papacy and just the magisterial system of the Catholic Church, and then also liturgy and tradition. But a lot of them have not even read like the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in its entirety. But you are already familiar with that as an American trad cat, which makes you exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say about you.
Well,
But don't get me wrong, a lot of people in the American Protestant church, they don't really know the Gospels either.
Well, believe me, I mean that some of my Catholic brethren are quite ignorant when it comes to the Bible. Okay. So we have to use terminology that they can identify to be educated. One terms like being like in the state of grace, which basically it's Catholic lingo, is to be having a good relationship with God. And things like reading the Bible, wow, that's something that every Christian should do.
Exactly. Starting
Now,
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yeah.
Hey, Irby.
Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. So tonight we have another episode of Open Discussion. And of course, a good portion of discussion has to do with the situation with Angie Biracial being demonetized and his disagreement regarding Georgia and his literary works regarding someone that was loosely based on our friend here.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm not your typical Catholic. I don't have statues, ever saw the need. I have one painting of the Holy Family, but that's simply something I inherited from my mother when she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also, if you also look at Creole Ladies post from today,
Mm-hmm.
she also made a post about Pope Leo the 14th, and I also wrote my comment on it too. So when you have a chance, check it out, and you can also leave a comment on it too.
Yes, and I will be
yesterday.
And I will be devoting a stream regarding the new Pope. Of course, as a Catholic, okay. Of course, if you come across my page in Facebook, and I'm very clear about it. Okay, I'm saved by grace. I'm Catholic by choice.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Like, let me tell you this, man. Like, a lot of Catholics and even Protestants alike can't even tell you what the Great Commission was about. Nor can they say whether the Great Commission happened before or after Jesus' resurrection. And they can't even say which book it's in either. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem, because basically the Great Commission began after Jesus rose from the dead. It's clearly illustrated in Matthew and in Mark's Gospels.
Exactly.
So,
specifically, Matthew 28 to verse 18 to 20. I know that by heart. I didn't even look at anything. I think stuff like that, like if you really are wanting to become like a disciple, because in that Great Commission, that's when Jesus was talking about
going out there baptizing those in the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and then making disciples and evangelizing though. Got people on both sides of the aisle who don't even know about that.
Yes. And in one of my streams, I did illustrate it that I did state that I actually witnessed a Roman Catholic bishop actually making an altar call. Okay. While that's perfectly normal in Protestant circles for a Catholic bishop to do that, that's an oddity. That's rare.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, the name of the bishop is St. Jacobs from the Diocese of Alexandria, Louisiana. So maybe he's a Creole too. Maybe that's what makes him so unique.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm just talking to Herbie.
Yes. So would you classify him as being plagiaristic, if there's such a term?
I don't know about that, but it's better to mention who this character is loosely based on, much like how I was just writing to Herbie about Denzel Washington's character in Training Day. Yes. And how it's loosely based on Rafael Perez. I mean, people know, people got to look him up, and then you see what I mean. And then did you want to know something? Even in that movie, yes. You notice how Denzel Washington grew out his goatee? Mm-hmm. He grew that out on purpose, though, just to try to match a little bit of what the real life Rafael Perez also had, because the real life Rafael also had a goatee. So Denzel Washington grew out his goatee in the movie to match the goatee of Rafael.
Yes.
Might as well, though, because the character is loosely based on Rafael, then at least have some of his elements.
Mm-hmm. And again, in the spirit of transparency, I did reach out to Angry Biracial on Instagram today because I wanted to give him an opportunity to respond. So
yeah. And yeah, this is where also I showed even Gigi. I mean, you already saw the pics that I showed Gigi, right?
Yes.
Yep, with my cap and what those bolts meant. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, look. And again, I am neutral. Now, some people, there'll be people that are going to claim that I'm partial to you because you're here to expound your point of view. But again, let me make this perfectly clear. Angry Biracial was getting an opportunity to appear as well, or even to comment in the chat.
Yep, and then I also said is that I would not have mind at all if he were to pop up even right now. I would be like, long time no speak, Jesse. What's going on?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would handle it, though, and I would still be my calm, cool, collected self. I would not be so invested in my emotions, unlike some people who love being emotionally driven. But no. Come in here with a humble heart and a humble mind and a humble way of handling it. So like I said, and then I want to rest assured to Herbie, though, is that I don't even care or even mind what he's doing at all. He's a grown man with free will who can do whatever he wants to do on his platform. Because one thing that he said before, which is something I agree with, and that is don't police what I do on my channel. I agree. I think trying to police what other people do on other people's channels is ridiculous. But I'm just saying is that it would be actually a lot nicer if you were to pretty much mention who your character is loosely based on.
Well,
So everybody, pretty much everybody was able to tell that. I'm like, oh, wait a second. This is George Orr. This is who this is loosely based on.
mm-hmm. So now I want to give a shout out to Don Armando because he's getting very close to reaching 1,000 subs.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed that too.
So
Yeah, I remember when Bob was at 200.
Yeah. So look, a huge shout out to him because he's been very successful with his content, considering the fact that he's dealt with his ops. Okay. And of course, some of his ops are the same ops that we have dealt with.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I do love listening in on what we have to talk about.
and of course, I also want to give a shout out to my supporters, which I affectionately refer to them as the uncommon folk. Okay. Because I have not enjoyed the success that some of the other content creators have made, but the fact of the matter, I have reached certain milestones. Okay, my content and my main channel has reached over 300,000 views.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and I've reached over six. I've reached 617 subs. So you know, and
Gigi
again, let's and
growing
again let's
fast.
keep. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I was saying that Gigi's new channel is
And
growing fast too.
yeah, yeah. And okay, and let's keep it clear. I mean, our channels are different. Okay, we're not into reaction videos as much. So obviously, we're not our channels growth is going to be slower.
No, man, yeah, I'm not led at all to doing reaction videos or whatever, or creating a beef sector though, like that other woman though. So you know what? Still dropping names though. She's that woman who goes by Spaceship Exploring Planets.
Mhm.
Like she does a lot of that stuff. Like she's a beef sector though, for sure. I don't really follow her at all though. I only found out about her was when no, I'm not going to get into that. Never mind. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what's your views regarding an individual that managed to have multiple channels deleted on YouTube,
Mister.
multiple channels deleted on TikTok, and somehow got kicked off of Rumble?
Very sketchy. I'm just like, you're clearly doing something which has caused this pattern of you getting kicked off of various social media platforms. There's clearly a pattern here, and there's clearly a pattern of you clearly doing something wrong, which is leading to your banishment from various social media platforms. So what's up?
Yes. And of course, the same individual did try to appear on this platform as well.
Honestly, I'd say if he comes up, let him up and let me hear what he has to say. But then you're more than welcome to mute him.
Yeah, but I have heard it, and basically, what he's going to say is basically, I'm going to be deported. He's going to report me to ICE. So, why am I going to entertain such an individual? So the first time
I'll
he
deal.
tried it,
I'll deal with him. I'll deal with him.
because the first time that he tried to make his presence felt, he was removed from the platform. The second time, he was banned. And actually, I never thought the day would come when he actually makes someone like Zacharias to be completely normal.
Please, almost to the point where after some good time has passed on by, you're willing to let Zach back up here on the channel when accountability has truly been taken.
Yes.
But
And the key,
until then, establishing closure is still going to happen on my channel first,
okay.
right?
And again, basically, he's gonna have to do what basically more or less an apology tour, okay? Which
Yeah.
means he's gonna have to take accountability, first of all, on his podcast. Okay,
Take it all
he's gonna
back.
have to take accountability on his channel, which I believe is he have his channel back. Which
Yep.
okay, I'm happy for him, but I'm not going to visit his platform. Eventually, he's going to have to give an apology tour here as well.
That's right.
But I am not holding my breath. Now, getting back to Mister and the fact that he's a three-time loser, also is allegedly engaged, but yet he is spending devoted a great deal of energy addressing Miss Elite and her colleague Femi.
Yeah, I do notice that Miss Elite has a lot of trolls.
Yes.
Lots.
Now, now let me put it to you this way, Georgia. Let's say hypothetically you are engaged.
Yes.
Would you be spending a considerable amount of your time addressing other female content creators, trying
No,
to get access
no,
to their boxes, so to speak?
no, that's really when it becomes very effeminate behavior for a man. If you already have a woman that you're engaged to, though, because for one, engagement, dude, I've been engaged, by the way. You already know that. I've been engaged before. I've done the engagement package before. I've done all of that stuff. That's the transitioning platform to marriage. And now, and my ex fiance at the time was the only woman that was the duck in my pond. Any issues going on, she was going to be on top. I didn't have time to jibber jabber or go after other women on the internet who I would probably never meet and didn't want to meet anyway. Because if I
Yes.
were to be doing that, that would be very effeminate. Like, dude, man, mister, that's very effeminate, gay stuff that you do, man, for a man. Focus on your woman and get discipled and actually be a God leading man. All right.
Mhm.
Same for the other guy
And
too. It's the same for you know who though. Just very effeminate, queenie behavior for a man. Stop.
mhm. Now, unlike Mister, I was married myself. Okay. Unfortunately, the marriage did not prosper, and of course, I have taken accountability as well. Okay, and I claim partial responsibility for the marriage ending. Have I not taken accountability, Georgia?
You've taken a great deal of accountability, though, just the same way that I have already taken full accountability for the stuff that also went wrong in my engagement. There's no
Yes.
ifs, ands, or buts about that at all. There's no
Yeah.
excuse. So,
Yes.
hence, take accountability and kick the dust off your feet, and please keep it moving. But be
Yeah.
able to admit where you're out of line.
And I have forgiven my ex-wife.
Same with mine,
Okay.
though. I mean, the last time I actually had a chance to speak to my ex fiance was this past November. How many months ago was that? December, January, February, March.
That's like a
Maybe
good 7 months.
6.
Okay. Now, I have forgiven my ex-wife. Now, would I invite my ex-wife to my home? No.
Would I invite my ex fiance to my home? No. And by the way, if you really want to know the truth, I have not seen her in real time in years. So you're probably wondering, well, how did I have a chance to speak to her? Well, it was on a Zoom call.
Okay.
It was on a Zoom call.
Now,
Yeah, I had a chance to
yeah.
see her
Now,
on the camera, but I have not seen her in person in real time in years. Okay.
yes.
And I have no idea what she is up to right now or what's going on. All I know is that she exists. But I have not seen her face or heard her voice on the camera or seen her in 6 months.
Now, I have spoken to her. I have
But
spoken to her on Instagram. I had spoken to her on WhatsApp. Okay, which basically that's a key platform that a lot of Dominican chicks tend to appear on. Okay, um, and of course she is on TikTok as well. Okay, and I know that she has remarried, and I wish her well as far as her and her hubby is concerned. Now, do I wish to get into the particulars how she got married? No, but I do wish her well.
same with my ex fiance too. Wish her well too.
Yeah.
I will say this though. Remember what you, and Don were talking about whether we would let our exes follow our platforms? Yeah, but just keep this in mind is that there's going to have to be some serious boundaries, and that keep in mind, it's not going to be the same ever again. Okay, don't take that personal, and please do not try to use that to try to somehow reconnect though, because it's not like that anymore.
Well, I suspect that you know who will probably make a note of it and try to comment about that.
Most likely, I wouldn't care. Other than that, yeah, she's welcome to my platforms. She's welcome to my TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Just click the follow button, and then that's about it, though. But respect my rules, respect my boundaries, and don't be a troublemaker.
And of course, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm a little bit hesitant about inviting my lady here on this platform because she is not brought up to speed regarding the stupidity of the circus and whatever. And then for me to try to explain, how would I explain somebody
Easy
yahoos?
peasy. Easy peasy. Just explain to her is that, keep this in mind, babe, is that I am also a public figure, though. And what comes along with being a public figure comes along a lot of quote unquote ops and haters or people who are jealous of you and people who are trying to destroy your platform. And then let alone is that I am also a true Christian. I am a disciple. And this also means is that people are going to try to persecute you, though, because Jesus did say that if you follow him, you will be persecuted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just make that known to her. And if she can swallow that and stomach that, then there shouldn't be any problems.
Yes.
Like, why do you think that I'm still standing strong, though? Because I'm like, well, hey, are the Alpha is what I'm going to call him, Jesus. Alpha did say if you follow him, that stuff was going to happen. So don't be surprised.
Yes. Now, of course, we are going to talk about Miss Elite a little bit, okay? Because I have appeared on her platform a few times, and she's been gracious to allow me on her panel to uh, give my point of view. Okay. Of course, we all know that she has trolls. Okay. A lot of it is a certain amount of jealousy involved, and also it seems like there are quite a few people who had mistaken YouTube for Bumble and Tinder.
Wow.
Your thoughts?
This is not a dating site or a dating arena.
And
Treat it like it.
no,
Been there,
no.
done that.
Um,
Stop.
yeah. And also, there's certain people that are upset because they are requesting to gain access to what we euthanizing call the box.
The box.
Yes, that is referring to a certain part of the female anatomy.
Oh. Oh yeah. Never mind. I get you. That's a little graphic.
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. I'm trying to keep this relatively PG rated.
Man, it's more like PG-13. Come on. Your channel usually is PG-13, so I guess because we're the PG-13 crew.
Yes. Of course, I do have a. I like to think of myself as a healthy relationship with some of the uh, female content creators. People like um, Gigi, Dreaming, um, Miss Elite, Miss Mo, and then again, you also have some in my sector, which is, of course, Latin splaining, Titi Juju, and also Extina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And unlike certain individuals, I am not trying to gain access to the box at any one of them.
Same. Not interested.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think I find Extina to be very beautiful. The same thing can be said for Denise. The same. Okay, now I have not seen Miss Elite, so I cannot opine, so to speak. But unlike certain individuals, I have met Extina in person. I has also met Keisha in person, and I have spoken to other content creators offline. Okay.
And then
But no,
on
I do
Armando
not.
too.
Yes, yes, but I do not have any desire to gain access to the box set of any of them.
Not interested, but yeah,
Okay.
like I mean, I'm willing to even meet up.
With Creole Lady, Gigi, and Dreamy. But am I interested in them like that? No. I don't look at them like that at all. No. No, 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 no,
Well,
no.
let's keep it real. I mean, when it comes to dreaming, I'm pretty much close, and I'm pretty much old enough to be her grandfather.
I
I think she's 28 now.
I think so, and I'm going to be 63. So you do the math. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And when
yeah,
it comes to
man, you're either old enough to be our dad or grandfather. Her grandfather though, but as far as me, man, I mean,
yes, I do believe that Creole lady is beautiful, but she's married. And no, I do not have a desire to gain access to her box either.
same.
And yes, believe it or not, Gigi is married. I know
Yep.
there's certain ops that will say the opposite, but yes, she is married. And I think I actually have heard from him briefly.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like when I do meet up with Gigi in Florida, though, I honestly am going to want her husband to be there because I'm like, for one, I'm a single man, and you are still another man's woman. You have to respect that. He has to be around. That's how I roll. Okay,
I agree.
that's
If
how it
I
should be.
was to actually, yeah, if I was actually to meet Gigi in person, I would tend to be very partial that her better half be present, just out
Same,
of respect.
same.
And when it comes to Denise, um, I would insist that Melanie and I be present as well, just out of respect.
Same.
And of course, we know that Melanie and I is my cyber son-in-law, and Grayson is my cyber grandchild. I mean, just to keep it on the 100.
Mhm. Yeah, I think Dreamy, yeah, she's probably 28 right now.
And I think dreaming is spoken for, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken.
But if she were to be your grandfather, that would mean that you had a child in either the late 70s and the early 80s.
Yeah.
Because people who are 28 right now um, were born in 1997.
Yeah.
So this would
And
mean that your child was born in 1980 and then your child had her at 17.
yes. And let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I'm way too old for dreaming.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Irby. It also depends on who I meet. Anybody, though, to be honest, just really depends. And then, yeah, I'm also. But when I head out to New York, though, I'm definitely going to meet up with both you and Abby. And then also, Abby has a man too, and I'm going to want him to be around too.
Okay. Now, in all fairness to Irby, I've met certain people on YouTube in person. Okay. Don Amando, True Teacher, Exina, Cash Out. Okay. But
I'll be
I'm not
interested.
trying to gain access to Keisha's box either because
Yep.
she has a man.
Yep. K Shaw too.
Okay.
But in your
And
neck of the woods too.
so, you know what? Um, I would not try to gain access to any female. Okay.
But
That's
what I still find to be hilarious, though, man, is when you already know where, like, what's her name? Future is Golden was telling somebody that I'm gonna meet up with them to pray with them, only to sleep with them. Some funny stuff, man, just to laugh at, because that's far from the truth.
yeah, but
But
then again,
people are gonna probably say
you
the same
but
thing
then it,
about you, though,
yeah, but then
sadly.
again, you are harassing sex workers with the gospel.
Even for the aforementioned individuals, so I still love them and still pray for them.
Okay. Now, what do you think about this? Those are cool people, and you're honest, nice, Jose. Not everyone on YouTube is like that. What are your thoughts?
Irby is right about that, though, because there are a lot of sketchy people on social media, though, and you should just utilize your discernment, though, when deciding who to meet and who not to meet. It should be as easy as one, two, three.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like for example, I would love to meet my cyber daughter, Denise. Okay, and
What
her
are you
hubby.
going to?
And yes, I do. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna be transparent. And yes, I am partial. I am partial to Denise. So,
You're right.
and of course, there are other people that I have a great affection to. Hazel is another one. EMR, which is I guess you can say he's like a nephew or what have you, a cyber nephew.
Oh, wow.
Nevada homeowner.
Oops, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Nevada homeowner. Sorry about that.
But look, but the reality is this: I'm happy to say that I have a community of supporters. Okay, from different aspects, from different um, areas as well.
Same here. Like recently, you had that one guy from the Netherlands. Specifically, you remember that?
Yes, and another person from the UK,
I do remember that. Yep, the British guy.
which is something that our ops cannot say.
Well, I remember there's that Australian woman though who was appearing on Don Armando's stream. Remember her?
Yes, that is true. And
There's
of
that.
course, Miss Ali has appeared on the chat a couple of times, and also Femi.
That too.
Okay.
But
Now
like I
I
said, these days when you blow up to 1 million subs, oh man, dude, it's over.
forget it. I can. Could you imagine Could you imagine the anxiety that our ops will have?
Funny.
I mean, they would. I mean, if they're getting this, you know, PO'd now. Could you imagine if I reach 1 million subs?
Yeah, they'll hate it.
Oh, forget it. They'll be besides themselves. They wouldn't know how to deal with it.
That'd be funny, man. Like imagine that you hit 1 million subs, man. Like, what if you actually like sponsored a convention in your neck of the woods or out here? Better yet, you can host a Jose Negron convention at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Dude, that would be
Oh
great. How
my!
cool would it be like that if you were to host the Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron convention in Las Vegas on this date? Would you do
Oh,
it? Las Vegas
you know
convention.
what? You know what? Could you imagine if I actually had that many, that number of supporters to have that? Oh my goodness, our ops would lose it.
Well, Jose, what if you were to start to have paparazzis on you? What would you do?
Oh, I wouldn't even. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. You know what?
And they're coming up to your
You know what?
apartment.
I could just. No. You know what? You know what they'll say? That
What?
I bought them.
That you bought paparazzi? Wow, that would be funny. Well, Jose, thank God in real life. I mean, although that I'm just being silly right now, but um, I'm sort of glad that would never happen for you because I think that you would be stressed out all the time and overwhelmed if you were actually having paparazzis on you because of how your uncommon sense with Jose Negron exploded to millions of followers to where you received 1 billion views. Like, imagine a
But you
paparazzi
know,
taking out after your playso and taking pictures of you. How would you feel?
oh my goodness, I would have to have a bodyguard or an army of bodyguards or whatever.
Right,
But you know,
because you know how you reacted to Zacharias in that video? I think that's how you would be feeling, man,
oh,
all the time. You know that, right? You,
but you know what?
I'm trying to have my own
But you
team.
know what's
Get the hell
funny?
away
You know what's funny? But you know what's funny? The
from
only thing that people can attack me with is how I curse out sacrifice.
Yeah. Even though you rarely cuss, we rarely cuss.
But you know what's funny? Because in April, believe it or not, I think I gained like about 47 subs.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
what about
like,
Irby? I wonder, like, with Irby too.
oh, forget it. I could just see the ops will have a heart attack.
That'd be funny, man.
But you know what's funny? Because on 2 days, I think I gained like 13 or 14 subs each day, which is like incredible.
That's a milestone.
I mean, when you compare, there is this one YouTube creator who we're not going to mention. Would you believe he's still stuck on 13 subs?
Oh yeah. And making action figures out of people.
But you know what? But you know what's even the sad? You know what's the pathetic thing?
What?
That I'm constantly creating shorts that gotten more views than his entire platform has ever gotten.
Same with mine too.
I mean, now basically almost. I mean, I'm not going to say all of them, but I would say some of them has gone easily over 1,000 views.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see
not,
that.
I mean, and basically, I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just being humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then every now and then, um, I'm just I come across a motivational message,
Mhm.
even a prayer now and then, over 1,000 views.
Yep, same here.
Okay, which goes to show, folks, that you can create positive content and you can get views.
I mean, look at my channel. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually have one short that gotten about 25,000 views and 1,000 likes, and I actually gained 12, like about 12 subs just on that short alone.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, let me look at one short in recent times. So, oh yeah, so the video that I recorded myself on Easter at my church, if you look at that, that got 1.1K views.
Hmm.
And then also, then neck after that, there's this Christian rapper that I also uploaded. His name is Pishko, and the title says "Proof that Christian rap is taking over." That also got 1.1K views. And then yeah,
Hmm.
and then this one video that I see here, where I have the title saying "Bless the Streets." That one got 967 views. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
and then oh, I even have one video of me in a stray husky dog that follows me. That actually got
Hmm.
8,000 views. If you see that,
Yeah. I
then
mean, look, I mean, I would say like like not most of my shorts now, they get 1,000 views easy. All of them funny. And a huge shout out to the 9 people who are watching this night. Well, now, hopefully, everyone is at least hitting the like button or the dislike button. Whatever. I mean, whatever floats your boat.
mhm.
But look, I think we are living testimony that you can produce positive content and it will get views.
Yep,
Something I wish our ops will learn how to do, but bless their hearts.
right.
So
Mhm.
I'm just drinking water and you drinking milk. So
Nope.
we're the health.
I don't like.
So we're the healthy group.
No, look at this. This is what I'm drinking. Box water. It's better.
Okay.
Yeah, but keep talking. Just
Okay. Well, look, let me tell you something. I think perhaps we'll start a trend where content creators will create positive content.
all right.
And I think that would be a healthy thing. Okay.
Mhm.
But do you think that okay, well, I don't know you if you think this situation with you um how could I say it?
What?
Loose story on yourself will continue or you think eventually it'll die down.
Die down. I think I said everything I need to say about that, and that's it. All I'm
Yeah,
just gonna say is just please change the slanderous title because that's no different than what the other guy says. So,
yeah.
so just be careful about slanderous titles or whether you're just using that for clickbait. But people use slanderous titles for clickbait all the time.
Well, The fact of the matter is, when you live
I'm
on
listening.
trauma content,
Mhm.
eventually you'll die by it.
It's true.
I mean,
But yeah, walk with me in a minute though. As I'm listening, you can walk with me.
okay, no problem.
Walk with me.
But on a happier note, tomorrow I'm going to be attending a luncheon for seniors
Nice.
um,
Tell me more about it.
at a Episcopalian church, which is not far from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice opportunity to gather with people of my age range
Mm-hmm.
and break bread, so to speak, and listen to some uh, uplifting music.
Keep talking.
Um, of
So,
course, Mother's Day is always bittersweet uh, due to the fact that it's going to be 5 years that my mother has passed away,
mm-hmm.
but she's in a better place.
Right.
And and the best way to honor her memory is by living by the life lessons that she taught me and being the best version of myself.
Same.
And of course, I did a shout out to the mothers this week where I honored all the women that play a positive role, whether you be a biological mother, adopted mother, a grandmother, an aunt, an older sister, or older cousin, or just being a positive matriarchal influence.
Yeah. Want to see mine? Mother right here. She's actually right here. She has a picture.
Okay.
I have her
Okay.
picture. I have her picture right here on the desk. Here she is.
Okay.
There she is.
Yes.
Her from the early '90s.
Okay.
Light skinned Griff from Mississippi with a Cajun grandfather, but
Mm-hmm.
still considered high yellow. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what they call it in Louisiana or Mississippi, but she remembers terms like high yellow. And in some ways, a lot of people nowadays think she's like from Cuba or where your girl is from. And I'm like, but she makes it very clear that nope, she's from the South. But
Yeah.
keep her picture.
What I do enjoy, the Cajun Creole content creators like Creole Lady. I think Cafe something. I love it. I keep forgetting her name.
Yep,
Okay.
she follows me
Uh,
too.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, and even Creole Chief once in a while
Yeah.
when he's not getting into all his
Hmm. Even
kerfuffles.
right, yeah, even right now, I could just speak a little bit of the Corey Vinny because hey, since it still is part of my bloodline, I want to learn a little bit of it and everything. So like to say like what's your name in the French Creole or the Corey Vinny, which is now becoming an extinct language anyway. Say your name. What's your name is quoi c'est ton nom? You say that? Quoi c'est
That's it,
ton
Mo.
quoi c'est
That's
ton
it, Mo.
Yep. Or then you say mon nom c'est, my name is such and such.
My name's saying.
Bon, then bon matin, good morning.
Mhm. Now, let me ask you a question.
Or
Let me ask you a question before we start to wrap this up.
what's up?
What will be a good sources of information to know about Creoles? Because um, there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Google.
I'm sorry.
Google. Check out
Okay.
.org. Check out the .orgs first. Check
Okay.
out like the .org so because they tend to be, a little bit more reliable and more reputable.
Okay.
Avoid all the .coms and blogs so because a lot of them tend to be opinion based. And you might want to be careful about people who like to come in and make up a bunch of revisionist history too.
Yeah, because I did wanted to do something regarding the Creoles, but the problem is, I don't want to make it sound like someone that had an axe to grind regarding certain individuals,
Yeah,
and I know that certain content creators, um, they may
don't want
be a
to
little bit hesitant about appearing on panels and things like that. So, and I respect them.
Yeah, and like I said, like before though, is that yeah, even though you guys clearly saw my ancestry DNA, and it did say and it did link me to the Louisiana Creoles. That is something I always knew before I even did that ancestry 9 years ago. But
Yes.
like I said before, I do give Dominique, aka Creole Lady, I do give her a lot more credit for perhaps being a lot more Creole than me because she is actually from New Orleans. Even though she even called herself a Bay Area teenager too, like me, but I'm like, home girl, just remember this. I was actually born and raised in California. I'm California boy, straight up California boy. Whereas you were actually from born and raised in New Orleans. That is also a integral part of your upbringing. That was not mine at all. And so it's more so that I feel like I'm more Creole just by the blood. Yeah, the blood, but all the culture and everything, not so much so other than just knowing some of the Corey Vinny, as well as the fact that my mother does cook us gumbo every Christmas, but I don't have your New Orleans accent. I don't have any of that stuff at all. And a lot of when I was even in Baton Rouge, I think some people were able to tell that no, 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 I was not from there, and that's okay.
Yeah. But
Other than
I
that,
did,
next,
but I did enjoy her video regarding her um, issues with Mardi Gras and some of
same
the things that happened during that time. And, you
carnal
know,
holiday.
I mean, it's like, so basically you do all your sinning and then you expect to turn the light off, turn it off. Like, I mean, that,
Yeah,
I
basically
mean,
a
that
carnal holiday.
that doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, you're going to do all the debauchery or whatever, and then Ash Wednesday comes, you're going to be like a good little Christian saint. Really?
Doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't really work like that because it means that you're now going on a fasting Lent in vain.
And you see, this is the problem that I have with some of my Catholic brethren when it comes to Lent. Okay, because it's like, oh, I'm going to give up this, I'm going to give up this, I'm going to give up drinking, I'm going to give up smoking, whatever. So basically, you go for 40 days or whatever, and then once comes Holy Saturday and Easter comes, you're going to go back to your puffing, your cigarette habits and all that, you drinking. No, I look at Lent as a time of self-reflection and renewal. So I don't think about what I'm going to give up or what have you, because it trivializes the whole time.
Right.
But then again, like I said, I'm not your typical Catholic. So what else is new?
Yeah, I mean that's just where everything just starts to become very works-based and ritualistic and unnatural. I don't like it.
Okay, but you
Like,
know what it is? The difference is a lot of Catholics they do all that stuff, but they really don't understand the meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll give you something like the sign of the cross. Now I make the sign of the cross as a reminder of what Jesus had to go through for my salvation. Okay, that's different. A lot of people they just go through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
When I dip my finger in holy water and I make the sign of the cross and make it's just a reminder that we have to be spiritual, that we have to be spiritually clean. Catholics, unfortunately, they don't really understand all that. And when it comes to like Ash Wednesday and putting the ashes on the forehead, a lot of Catholics they don't understand the true meaning about it.
Mm-hmm.
And even when the priest places the ashes on the forehead, he said there's two things that they say. One of them is repent and believe in the gospel. The other is you are dust and dust you shall return.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a lot of Catholics that just say nah and just say amen and they'll say next. Unfortunately, that's the mentality that some Catholics have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then when it comes to like a lot of people in like the American Protestant church, they're more like pray to Jesus only, pray to Jesus, but they don't really know exactly the character Jesus had at the time. They will be a Jesus freak on surface level, but where are the fruits of Jesus and where's the character of Jesus? They don't really have it, if you notice that. It's more like they will know all the words, they will know all the Bible verses, though, but they don't know the heart. They don't have the heart and love of God at all. After all, 1 John 4 verse 8 does say, for those who do not love do not know God, because God is love.
So it sounds like basically they're like like the Pharisees of today.
Yeah. You see what I mean? You got a lot of that in the Protestant churches too.
You have that in the Catholic Church as well, believe me.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
dude. Let me tell you, even in the Orthodox Church too, because dude, there's this woman who thinks that true salvation truly lies within the Orthodox Church, and then she was telling me I need to check out an Orthodox church in my neck of the woods, though, because of how American Protestantism is corrupted and everything, and that your Protestant ideology, your Western Protestant ideology is only a few centuries years old. I'm like, okay, woman, I could care less about what's going on within the American and Protestant or the American Protestant and Catholic Church. Research the early church, such as all the early churches mentioned in the book of Acts, or better yet, the Thessalonian church. Like the church, or like better yet, here are the early churches. We have the Thessalonian church, and we also have the church in Antioch and also the church in Philadelphia. Those churches, Jose, predates any church with a denominational title on it. Yes, the Catholic Church is the very first institutionalized church, but before that, you had the Church of Antioch, the Thessalonian Church. These were the churches that actually exemplified the character of Jesus. They spread his gospel, they made disciples. Even the Thessalonian church even financed Paul to go out on his mission trips. That's what the early church did. I'm an early church Christian who doesn't have a denomination. And I do not need your Orthodox church or your Baptist church or your Catholic church to be that. I don't need any of that stuff. Plus, Jesus didn't even have a denomination. Hey, Gigi.
Hey,
Good
Jose.
evening, Gigi.
Hey, Jose. How you doing?
Good. Well, I'm doing
Hi.
good.
Fine. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I got everybody, settled down, my family to sleep and stuff. So I've been in and out. What are you guys talking about?
legal, a lot of stuff.
We was
A lot of stuff.
well. We talk about which. Yeah. Well, of course we talk. Of course we talk about Angry Biracial and his book about that kind
Hey,
of sort
Irby.
of illustrate the lights of Georgia, sort of.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, not angry. George R came out. He said his piece or whatever, and then of course, angry is gonna respond. Do you think it's gonna be like a back and forth type situation, or is it pretty much just like, hey, I said what I said, he said what he said type thing?
I think it's
I
going to
said
be
what I said
basically.
already, though. I said what I said, though. My only last note to him was, and you can clearly see that I wrote even on this video, change the title of your video because I think it's just a slanderous title that you're using for clickbait.
Oh yeah.
Stop. So I'm like, dude, stop. That's not acceptable. I will not do that to even my worst enemy. I would not do that, but that's a slanderous title.
Mm-hmm.
And in all fairness, Gigi, I did try to reach out to Angry Biracial today.
Yeah, I mean, I would have expected for him to say something though. So I mean, that was kind of light work compared to what he used to do. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he would put a title like that to grab attention.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
But
I'm just
I'm sure he's
different than what the other guy does.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's going to do a video regarding the stream, and he's going to try to give a twisted narrative that I'm being partial to Georgia. Okay, even though I have stated several times throughout the stream, I did reach out to him, the Angry. He was offered an opportunity to give his rebuttal. And basically,
even if you were partial to George Orr, who cares? George Orr's your friend. George Orr supports your channel. Angry Biracial does not.
I know. But
So.
I know. Like I said, I'm just trying to be impartial. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, even if you weren't, that would be your business as well. So.
Yeah. I know. Well.
The Creoles are fighting as well. I just noticed over there again. So it's been a lot going on.
And of course, I did discuss the fact that he was demonetized.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, that Creole Cafe Olay chick or whatever. She has some sort of problem with another one of the. I guess she would be an exotical. I don't know. She's kind of supported our channels and the exotical channels. But anyway, she's saying that they're like trolling her, pretending to be Latinas and all this other stuff. I don't know what's going on, but there's something unfolding over there with them too.
Hey, the circus is alive and I'm well.
I think I missed that part. I haven't been following that.
Speaking of circus, Mr. tried to appear on the platform again.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't let him up, right?
Right.
No. So the first time he was moved. The second time he was banned.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's just that,
Gigi, I think that the fact that he made a video about that though shows that he was watching, or that he checks out your channel.
Oh well, I mean, he couldn't really have missed it though because I put him in the title. His name was in the title. I knew he knew immediately that thing went through, and I hashtagged him. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times though, like people will go on and move on into their channels and act like they don't watch the space, but they always know what's going on. Like I just feel like this space is kind of one of those places where even if you decide not to drop down no more, like you're still going to be in the clouds, lurking around, seeing what's going on. For the most part, people do.
It's a small channel. I mean, and it's more of a small circle.
Mm-hmm.
Very small circles. You're just gonna know.
Mm-hmm. And even if you're not watching, somebody's going to hit you up and tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Creole versus the Exoticals. Yeah.
but you know
That
what?
is messy over there. I'm trying to stay quiet on it because it's kind of messy.
Mm-hmm.
I did saw Angry's video regarding the whole situation, and I just like, oh, here we go again.
Like I said, I do not follow him like that at all. I have had no idea as to what's been going on his channel whatsoever until it was brought up to me about how his book is about. I mean, his book is out, and it's the book that's loosely based on me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But what I was saying a little bit earlier, though, to Jose about that is Denzel Washington's character in the movie Training Day, because even his character is loosely based on Rafael Perez, who was a real life crooked police officer in the LAPD.
Uh-huh.
But we know that,
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of stuff in the movie Training Day is fictionalized, though, but it still is drawing from some inspiration from a real life person who is
I mean, I'm
still well today.
I'm pretty
So
sure that, like, when you gave him your story and stuff like that, that he was going to use it eventually. I think it was probably just the point that when somebody asked who you were, and it was just like, oh, that person doesn't exist. It's like, really? You know what I mean?
yeah, and I'm like, well, that person does exist. That person happens to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, I had to ask Georgia regarding Angry's assertion that he was paid. He paid Georgia $80 for like 4 or 5 different segments and what have you,
He did
to
not.
which
Yeah,
Georgia had a different interpretation.
he only
Yeah.
paid me
No.
$20. He never paid me $80. $80 would have been great, but no, I was never paid $80.
And it's funny when he was saying that, he's received so much hate just from the biracial community and stuff. And, I think it's so funny because, I mean, we could all say the same because we're in proximity to each other. But he came over here and supported for like 2 weeks, and then he led a hate train against biracials. So
Biracial
that's why
women.
all of this, biracial women, because he was doing the whole manosphere thing or whatever, red pill, and so it's just funny, like everybody's a victim, everybody's so innocent, and everybody's a victim.
Um,
I just wanted
Gigi,
what I want.
Gigi, I'm sorry, Gigi, I'm gonna
Huh?
put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. Would you classify me as red pill?
No, I wouldn't.
How would you
I mean,
classify?
I definitely think that you watch red pill content, but I don't know that you like live your life in that way. But I do think that you get enjoyment of, talking about the
I mean,
304s or whatever else.
I do like watching it, but
Yeah.
This is the thing. I do believe if a man wants a woman to follow his lead,
Hmm.
if he cannot govern himself, he has no business trying to govern a female.
I would say you're not red pill, but you might have some red pill tendencies. Because if you enjoy that type of content, it's because it resonates with you to some degree. And also, yeah, I don't see that you don't date American women. You're a passport bro as well. So, yeah, you must relate to it in some kind of ways, right? But I will say though that you don't push your shit on everybody
Well, I
else,
have
and
dated.
you are fair.
Okay.
I would say you're fair.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I
Some
try.
of these
I
people
try to
are just
present the
not
whole picture.
fair. They just have their mindset on one thing, and like there is no like gray area. And we all know in life that sometimes there are gray areas.
Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes men do effed up shit. Sometimes women do effed up shit. That's life.
look. That's why I would never refer to a single mother as a baby mom. I would refer as a single parent. Because look, we gotta understand that different circumstances why a woman becomes a single parent.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It's a bunch of stupid shit on the internet. All these damn men date women with kids, and the only ones that probably don't are the ones that don't have kids themselves, which makes perfect sense. But the majority of these men are just talking shit on the internet. They've all dated women with kids. and they continue to do so. If that woman is valuable enough to him, then he will take her on with her kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've had a son before though, but yeah, I probably at that point though, I probably would have been with a woman who had a kid too with a previous partner. That's usually how people like work nowadays in the dating scene. That if you already have kids, you tend to partner up with somebody who likewise has kids from a previous marriage or relationship.
Yeah, because it makes more sense, and you can understand each other on a different level, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, even to like my son Noah at the time, though, I'm pretty sure he would have probably had a wonderful stepmother. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother of that child is the one that they're talking about plastering all over on Twitter or whatever. Talking about that was the person that you had a kid with.
My ex fiance.
Yeah, is that the one? That's who you had the baby with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You saw? Did you? Why did you see? Saw her? Oh, yeah. That. Yeah.
No,
That
I
was
didn't see
shared.
her. I just saw people like saying her name or whatever. Like,
Yeah, that was her.
oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't know who she is. Like, listen, I'm not gonna stalk anybody. Like, but if I see some tea, I'm gonna look at it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to find it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well,
Yep, that's her.
on Monday, I'm going to be doing a live on trolls, so I can just imagine. Some people are going to get butthurt about it, but whatever.
Mm. Yeah, it's best not to feed the trolls.
Well, I'm not going to be mentioning any trolls. I'm just going to state the characteristics of the trolls.
Yeah, miserable, obsessed, psychotic.
Low, lonely, incel, unproductive. Um, don't have anything positive going on in their lives. I mean, look, how
Do you
like
see
how
hybrid over there harassing Dreamy, especially, but me as well? Do you see that?
what
Hmm.
happened?
So have you seen hybrid over there harassing Dreamy and me for
Yeah.
no damn reason? Can't make it make
You know
sense.
what?
I mean, these freaks. You gotta ignore the freaks, honestly. That's why I won't even mention them over there on my channel.
Mhm.
You want to know what's coming to my mind, Gigi? That Houdini song from 1984. Remember it? The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night.
And how pathetic do you have to be to take a picture of a woman who's pregnant in the late term pregnancy and try to make a post to body shame her? Like, it's just pathetic. Okay.
I'm like,
I
dude,
mean, you know what's
where's
you know
where is
what's
being?
okay. Do you know what's
I'm like,
pathetic? I'm sorry.
Mm.
You know what's pathetic? What pathetic is to continue bringing out old beasts that are like 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. Move
Yeah, especially
on.
because I'm not a part of their space, so I don't really know why they give a shit, honestly. So we're not part of the mulatto group, so they
mhm.
shouldn't be too worried about us.
Yes, and I did one live on mulattoes, just basically discussing the myths. Okay, you don't see me constantly talking about mulattoes. I mean, because really, I mean, why should I? I'm not part of that community. I have no problem with them, but it's I love them. I'm not part of that community. So it's like I just leave them alone, let them be whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, dude, man, like, where are your kids, man? Like, if this is your woman who is like, what is it, 20 years your junior? Why haven't you guys had a kid yet, and why haven't you gotten married? Because if I were actually the leader of the whole mulatto clan, I would have been married by now, and I would have started popping out some babies. What's your
Yeah,
excuse?
no, none of them got kids. They just sit over there and talk about people that do got kids, and that tells you everything that you need to know. And as far as him, he probably hasn't even gotten a whiff of her. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, if she's still in her 20s, what's your excuse? Like, dude,
I don't know, but I just
doing
think
what
it's
you've been
weird
doing
for a
here.
40. I think it's weird for almost a 50-year-old man to be posting online saying, I have a mulatto girlfriend, nan nana boo boo. We don't give a fuck. Like, that's the weird part. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I'm
And
like,
if she was really your girlfriend like that, would you really, after all this time, after these couple of years that you're still on there, like, nan nana boo boo, like, the math ain't mathin' for me. Like, I don't know. It's given we just have an online situationship and not a real relationship.
yeah,
And let's
I
not
mean,
forget about him in the middle of the night over there calling her name writing on the community wall. Pixie, Pixie, Pixie. Pixie's out fucking somebody else. That's what she's doing at 3 o'clock in the morning. And stop coming online and telling us that she's doing it.
yeah. I'm just like, why haven't you married? Like, why? I'm like, yeah, Irby, 50. He's like, I'm like, dude, you're old enough to be my dad, man. It's old enough to be my dad.
and guys, my lady's coming to see me this summer. I'm a little bit hesitant to put it on my platform. I will have to have a serious discussion. It's like, okay, look, I'm a public figure here in the streets, and I have a bunch of weirdos that that had nothing better to do. So just be mindful, of the schizoids and what have you, because you might not know how to deal with these yahoos.
Right.
I just think it's funny when I see him out there posting, trying to get her attention at 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Look, at 3 o'clock in the morning, most people are asleep. Okay, what
If that's your girlfriend, when you just text her phone, why would you come on YouTube and look for her?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? At 3 o'clock, but you know what? At 3 o'clock in the morning, I will allow her to sleep in peace. Anything I need to be said, it can be said during the day. I don't want to have to wait till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, Clara, are you okay? I'm like, she'll be like, Jose, go to bed.
Yeah, and I'm like, not everybody needs to know like what's going on in like your relationships too. Like, why does everybody have to know?
Yeah.
It's like
Nobody cares. He literally thinks that everybody cares, and he thinks that everybody wants them to break up and all this shit. Like, it's literally made up in his mind. You know what I mean? Like, literally nobody gives a shit. Why would we? If anything, why aren't you more sane and more happier and less weird if you have a nice, healthy relationship? Why haven't you changed?
Exactly.
Why are you still obsessed with other women, other biracial women on YouTube?
Look, unlike certain people, I have a life outside YouTube. First of all, I've been blessed because I have been selected to represent my union at a conference in Atlanta, Georgia, at the end of July, at which my union is paying for everything, paying for my airfare, paying for my hotel, paying for and giving me expense money. Do you think I'm going to be obsessing regarding what some people who are never going to meet, who I have no desire to meet, is obsessing about what I'm thinking about?
Yeah, it's just all silly. I'm not paying attention to that side of YouTube or whatever. I'm just gonna make my content and go. These people are ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I said, the circus is
Not
alive and I'm
ridiculous.
winning.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Huh?
No, I see Jordan have to step down. But look,
Okay. See you later, Georgia.
I'm enjoying my life. In a couple of years, I will retire. Okay. And I'll be enjoying my retirement, and I'll be doing the stuff that I want to do. which will include some traveling, which will include being with people of my age, okay, and not ashamed of it, okay, and just enjoy my.
Jose, what's the miracle you haven't covered the Pope? I thought you would have jumped on that.
You know what? I'll probably do something about the Pope next week. Not next week.
Hmm.
I mean, I see that Trump is got a little bit, kerfunkle about the Pope and what have you. I
The Pope
mean,
doesn't support.
but I'm surprised that they actually picked an American to be Pope. I mean, because I figure I would never live to see that. I would figure he'll probably be some guy from Africa or the Philippines or maybe another Italian. But you know what? Weirder things that happen. I don't know. Hey,
Well, I mean, I don't think anything is coincidence, and I think everything's for a reason. And the fact that, yeah, they frown on America, having those positions and titles because of already the influence and power that we have. That's just like a whole nother level. But I mean, maybe people are gonna be kind of chill about it because he doesn't seem to support Trump. I don't know.
well, let's keep it real. How many people can support him at this point?
Us?
Just saying.
I'm still on the ride, seeing how it plays out. I mean, I do see China folding and stuff. I mean, let's see if there's a method to the madness. But I can definitely say that, I don't agree with everything that's going on, that's for sure. But I don't necessarily not agree with other things that are going on as well, if that
Yeah,
makes
I
any
get
sense.
it.
Hmm.
No, I no believe I believe it. I do. I do.
I
But
don't obviously enjoy all the white supremacists that are coming out of the shadows and, showing their asses all over social media.
yeah, yeah. Or the Americans are being deported, sent to countries or whatever for, well, I don't know, for no rhyme or reason. But hey, this is the government that we picked, so hey,
Yeah, isn't Elon got to get out of there soon, right?
supposedly, I'll believe it when I see it. Oh,
Well,
but
there's some
I'll
sort
believe
of
it
a
when
limit on it. I forgot how many days it was. I don't know. Was it 150? I don't
I think
remember.
it's 150 days or whatever.
155, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. Well, well, before I forget, Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And happy
And
Mother's
of
Day to
course,
your mom.
thank you. Well, she's up there in heaven looking over me. So,
Yeah.
but but the best way by honoring my mom's memory is living by the lessons that she taught me, and just to be the best version of myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is late even for you, Jose.
Well, it's
I'm
Friday.
tired.
It's a
Yeah.
little different on Friday because I don't have to work or whatever. But I can't. But the trolls that've been coming to Miss Elise's channel is like it's like a troll convention,
Yeah.
and all of them are obsessed because of the fact that they want access to the box.
Yeah. That's
It's
what
like
all of it is about. Men gatekeeping women's vaginas.
I mean, it's like I didn't know YouTube was Tinder or Bumble. I thought there was a social service, a social platform when people get up and say whatever the fluff they want.
It's all
But
of that.
yeah,
It's
but
hard though. Shit.
yeah, but you
It's
know
been a long
what?
day.
Yeah, but in all fairness, for me to get up and watch your streams, like at night, I'll have to take a nap. Take a nap. There. At least I'd be partially ready. But you know what? But I'm glad that. But I can see why you're doing streams in the morning because basically to try to get to avoid the presence of the trolls.
Well, not necessarily. It's just a little bit more convenient for me now.
Yes. Good evening, Intrepido Jaguar. It's been a long time since you've been here. Thank you very much for stopping by. And of course, a huge shout out to my supporters because let me tell you something. Uh, I still am amazed at the amount of growth that this channel has achieved.
You're getting there. You'll be at 1K before long.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
when I do reach 1K, I'm planning a nice celebration. And of
Yeah,
course,
that'll be fun. We'll all celebrate you and your monetization and just like a channel milestone.
yeah. And the best part is I didn't have to trash anybody to do it.
Mhm. I've been trying to put in a little bit more work on my channel, fitting in time here or there.
Well,
So
yeah,
I'm
but
building my subs up though. You're gonna watch me. You're gonna see me do it for the third time, run laps around these motherfuckers. Okay.
well, you know what? I'm sure by the time you'll be have more subs from me. But you know what? I'm not jealous in the least. I'll say this: it's a huge shout out to you.
I know you're not jealous, Jose. Thank you. I appreciate all your support over the years.
Well, like I said, of course, I will continue to support you. I'll continue to support Dreaming as long as my support is welcome.
Nobody should be jealous of anybody because you get what you put into YouTube. If you want a lot of subs, you got to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But, I'm gonna stop to wrap this up because it's getting late, and of course, old people like myself need this need us sleep. So, you have any closing remarks?
Me too. I'm yawning. No, just have a good night. Thanks for letting me up. Everybody hit the like button for Jose, and I will see you guys next time.
All right,
Bye.
take care, peace.
You too. Bye.
Bye. So I'm gonna stop to wrap this up. I think this was a good stream. Like I said before, I did try to reach out to Andrew Biracial to give him his opportunity to opine. So whatever narrative he wants to create, hey, all you can do is try. But when everything is said and done, you know, just be the best version of yourself, and always be mindful that whenever you have some success, you're gonna have haters along the way. So I'm gonna be live on Monday, where I'm gonna be talking about the trolls. Um, Probably Tuesday or Thursday, I'll do my opinion regarding the new pope, and just keep an open mind. And of course, I'm gonna close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be affected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, saying good night, happy Mother's Day, take care, and peace.